Hi, my name is Carrie and welcome to today's yoga session. Today we're just going to do a short session to help open up our upper body. So shoulder openers, heart openers, to help us bring in anything and everything this week and this day so that we can feel more energized and uplifted and to stay open to the possibilities that the world has to offer us, right? So what we're going to need is just your mat and one block today. If you don't have a block, a couple of books or a really, really fluffy pillow is helpful. We're just going to use it at the very beginning of class. You could also skip this portion, no big deal, but we'll grab your things and then we'll begin whenever you're ready. So today we'll actually begin on our backs, and we're going to utilize the prop right at the beginning. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your block, your pillow, or your books at a higher setting, so at about a medium setting, and set it at the top half of your mat. You're going to bring your feet to the edge of the mat, and then make sure the block is reachable behind you with your hands, and then slowly lower yourself down. You want the top of the block to be able to hit the top of your chest, so that it really feels like the back of the shoulder blades are feeling supported. And then once you have that position, you're going to take your hands, lace them, and then bring them to the back of your head. So once you have that, you're going to lean your head into your hands as you start to open up into your back, neck, and shoulders. So use your inhales to expand, keeping your elbows nice and wide. And then as you exhale, you can bring your elbows together and just round through your upper back. We'll do that a couple times just to start out. Inhale again, expand and open. Lean your head into hands, feel nice and heavy. Feel that big stretch through your lats and your chest. And then exhale again as you draw the elbows together and round through your upper back. Good. We'll do one more like that. Inhale, expand and open. And then again, exhale as you round. Again, I said. Good. One more time. Inhale, open up. And again, exhale as you draw the elbows together, round through the upper back. Good. We're going to maintain the head and neck position. You're just going to release the hands from behind the neck, grab the back of your thigh, it doesn't matter which one, and straighten out the opposite leg. Take that foot and kick it forward as hard as you can so that you can lift yourself up, and then we'll just turn things around so that you end up on your hands and your knees. So remove the block, rotate yourself, and then find a little bit of a wider stance through your hands, and then make sure your knees are stacked underneath hips. We'll find our cat-cow. So on your next inhale, drop the belly as well as you lift your gaze, and then exhale, round the spine. And we'll just go back and forth between those two movements a few times, focusing on the chest, the shoulders, using your inhales for cow and your exhales for cat. Really good. Let's go through one more round. And then gently come back into a nice neutral spine. We're going to place our left hand a little bit more in the center of the mat and then take our right arm and reach it out in front of us. So try not to lift the shoulder. We're trying to keep our shoulders parallel to each other, and then try to lift that arm and keep your bicep glued to the ear. Take a nice big inhale as you lift that arm. And then as you exhale, take that hand all the way out to the side and take the back of your hand against your lower back. Inhale, rotate that right elbow straight up towards the sky. Rotate the right shoulder open. And then exhale again as you bring it back down. Inhale, shift the hand all the way back up to the front, palm facing down once it gets to the front. Lift the bicep, and then exhale, lower the arm. Good. We're going to switch sides. Right hand plants, left hand lifts. Inhale, reach. Exhale out to the side, into the back of the hand against the lower back. Inhale, rotate that elbow straight up towards the sky. And then exhale again as you bring it back to neutral. Circle that hand all the way back to the front of the room as you lift that arm. And then exhale, lower that hand back down towards the earth. Really good. One more time on each side. Right arm lifts. Try to lift that arm as high as you can without lifting the shoulder. Exhale, take that hand out to the side, to the lower back. Inhale, rotate. Exhale, back to neutral. Inhale, arm out to the side towards the front. Lift. And then exhale, lower. Good. Other side. Last one. Left hand lifts. And then exhale out to the side to your lower back. Inhale, rotate that elbow open. And then exhale again as you bring it back to neutral. Circle that left hand all the way back to the front, palm facing down once it gets there. Lift, and then exhale, lower. Really good. You're going to tuck your toes and then just gently sit back into the heels. If this is really uncomfortable for you, you can also come high up onto your knees. And then we're just going to roll out our wrists. And then take a nice big inhale as you reach the arms all the way up. And then cactus the elbows once you get to the top, lifting the heart up towards the sky. Good. Inhale again as you reach the arms up nice and high. And then exhale again, back bend. Lift the chest up towards the sky. Really good. Last one. Inhale, reach. And then exhale again as you open it up. Beautiful. Inhale, reach the arms back up towards the sky. And then exhale, plant the hands back down towards the earth. And then walk the hands over towards the left-hand side as you take your right foot and sling it all the way back to the front. Once you have that foot in front of you, you're going to slowly come back into a low lunge onto your right foot and your left knee. And then instead of having your hips open like this, think about taking your right hip back and your left hip forward, squeeze the glutes, and then push forward from here. Good. You're going to reach both the arms up by lacing the palms, push the palms down, reach the arms up towards the sky. And then as you exhale, take a side bend over towards your right, opening up a little bit deeper into that left side. And then sit a little bit lower into that lunge if you can. Really good. One more. Good. Inhale, reach the arms back up towards the sky. Exhale, cactus the elbows, lift the heart up towards the sky. And then inhale, reach the arms back up high. Before exhaling and releasing both hands to the inside of that leg. Good. Gently press forward into the hips for one breath. And then take that right foot and slide it all the way back behind you. Good. We're going to just come down into Chaturanga Dandasana. You could always do it on knees and lower down halfway. You could always do the full 1, 2. Inhale, upward facing or cobra to start. And then exhale again onto your knees. And then walk your hands over towards the right. Sweep that left foot forward to meet the hands. Walk your hands forward. Sit nice and low into your hips. And once you have that, bring yourself up. And then let's find the alignment. Left femur plugs into the pelvis. Right hip pushes forward. Engage the glutes. Push. Draw the ribs in. Pull the belly in and up towards your spine. And then push the palms forward and up. Take a nice big inhale here. And then this time, push the hips forward. Exhale, side bend to the left. Do your best to keep your ribs drawn in. Maybe look up towards your right side to help you keep rotated. Open. Really good. One more breath here. Beautiful. Inhale, reach the arms back up high. And then exhale, cactus the elbows as you lift the heart up towards the sky. And then inhale again as you take that big reach one last time. And then exhale, both hands back down towards the ground. Good. Squeeze the hips forward for one breath. Good. And then sweep that left foot all the way back behind you. Really good. We're going to gently lower ourselves all the way down onto our hips as we rotate our feet back towards the front. We're going to find a reverse tabletop. So we're going to take our hands behind us and then rotate our fingers out to the side so that it's a little bit easier for our shoulders. And then bring our feet about hip distance apart with our feet on the ground. Take a nice big inhale. Lift the hips up nice and high for reverse tabletop. And then use your exhales to lower. If you'd like to take it a little bit further, you have the option of extending your legs and lifting yourself up this way. So you can do the next inhale like that. Inhale, lift. And then exhale, lower. If you tried it and you're like, that didn't feel very good, you want to do the tabletop again, you can do either one for the last one. Last inhale as you lift, whichever movement you choose, and then exhale as you lower. Beautiful. Once you arrive, you're just going to take a legs extended and take a gentle forward fold. And then from here, make sure your heels are all the way at the edge of your mat, and then we're just going to gently lower ourselves all the way down onto the floor. Beautiful. Once you land on your back, we're going to take our feet and bring it back onto the mat and have our knees hip distance apart and our feet right underneath our knees. Good. Tuck our shoulders against the upper back so our upper back feels nice and flat. And then on your next inhale, we'll lift your hips up towards the sky for bridge. And then exhale, we'll just hold it there. So instead of having the knees open out, keep driving the knees in towards each other, really pushing down into the inner arches of both feet, and then maybe lace the hands and push the knuckles down towards your heels. Think chest to chin. Really good. We'll take one more breath here. For the last one, gently release the hands. Inhale, reach the arms all the way up overhead. And then on the exhale, lower the hands and the hips all the way down at the same time. Good. We'll do that bridge one more time. If wheel is in your practice and you'd like to do that, you can do wheel. If you'd like to have a little bit more cues, I can help you out. What you're going to do is plant your feet, same thing. The legs are going to do exactly the same thing. What you're going to do with your hands is place your hands right above the shoulders with your fingers tips facing towards you. The tendency here is for the elbows to come out really, really far. So keep the elbows driving up towards the sky. And then once you have that position, you can gently just lift the hips and then lift yourself maybe onto the crown of your head. And if you're good here, you can hold right here. If you think you can take it a little bit further, extend into your arms and really press down into your feet. Again, don't let your knees open. Hold that for 3, 2. Really good. One more. Use your one more inhale to lift. And then exhale, lower yourself down. If you tried that, give yourself a round of applause. If you attempted it and you're like, that didn't feel great, and you did bridge instead, again, a round of applause. But great job showing up today. We're going to finish up right here. You can take the soles of your feet together with your knees nice and wide, taking one hand over the heart and one hand over the belly to help us close the practice. If you're like, that feels a little too open, I feel like you need a little bit more comfort today, maybe bring the knees together instead, feet nice and wide, and allow yourself to settle here. It's really difficult to have an open heart when things in the world feel a little bit scary. But this is about leaning into your intuition, leaning into love, and leaning into the possibility of anything and everything that is good that will happen to you and for you. So as we trust the universe and we lean into the good, know that the good comes when we allow ourselves to stay open to it, no matter what is happening in our world. So as you take one last moment of stillness, check in with yourself, mentally, emotionally, physically. And take one last moment of silence to just let go, stay open, and just to be. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May all beings be happy and free. And may our actions directly impact that freedom and happiness for all. So as we take one last moment with ourselves, breathing in anything and everything that we might need to stay open and love. As we exhale everything else away. Bringing small movements back into the body as you wiggle through your fingers and your toes. Allowing yourself one last full body stretch if it does call to you today. As you reach in opposite direction, before taking your time to slowly bring your knees into your chest and rolling over to your favorite side. As you take one last moment in stillness, in that comfortable fetal position, allowing ourselves to reset before we take on the rest of the day. Take your time to slowly make your way to your comfortable seat. Okay. Once we arrive, we'll take one hand over our heart, one hand over our belly, doing our best to find gratitude during hard times. Thank you so much for being here, for sharing space, and for allowing me to guide your practice today. From my heart to yours. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for taking care of each other, and I hope to see you at the next one.